Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 16th of October 2018, so welcome everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday's afternoon session where we're gonna have a look at the markets, a few charts, a few instruments basically. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation. It should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, so let's not waste any more of our valuable time and let's jump into the charts. Now the first one I want to touch on is the Dow Jones. Now this one here yesterday, as you can see, we closed the day in the red, but nevertheless still kind of hanging around here, stuck in between these lows that we saw recently, or to be more precise, last week. So at the moment, we're waiting for a better sign, a better signal here for a possible move either to the upside or to the downside. Now, as you can see, I'm shifting my highlighted areas to the levels that we're going to be keeping an eye on, keeping a close eye on, of course. So the first one on the downside here, a good potential area of support could be seen around the 24,970. So I understand that it kind of broke it a little bit to the downside here, but nevertheless kind of got back above it. Now, as you can see in the past here, it also acted as a very strong area of support, and that was around the mid-August and of course around the end of July. So the 24,970 mark could be the one to watch. Also, as you can see, it almost coincides here with the 200 EMA. So in a way, you could to be on the more safe side here, you could look at this level, you could look at the 24,970, but you could also aim for the lowest point that we saw here in October. For now, probably this could be around the 24,900 zone. So keep your eyes on that one, because a nice good break below initially below the 24,970 and then a drop below the 24,900 could potentially open the path towards these lower levels here. Of course, the first good area of support could be seen around the 24,660 area, approximately there, of course, marked here by the low of the 11th of July. And if that doesn't hold, well, we could potentially continue traveling lower. But again, for now, in order to kind of see this scenario, we would need to see a nice good break here initially below the 24,970, and then eventually a close below the lows that we saw here around the 11th of October, around the 24,900, in order to be kind of more on the safe side. With the upside here, it's, to be honest, at the moment, certainly we could see maybe a bit of a correction here coming in, maybe going back up here. This is where we're going to aim for the 25,500, or actually even rounded up here towards the 25,600 level. This is what we're going to be aiming for now, because a nice good break above that could potentially open the path towards the 25,800 level. Now, just to kind of point out the importance here of the 25,800 zone, it was the high that we saw around the 27th of February. So keep your eyes on that one. Basically, from in order to, this is from something basically from the short-term perspective, because still, as you can see, we're below this this kind of medium-term upside support line that has been running here since the lows of the 28th of June. So until it kind of remain in this area, we're still going to be more bearish than bullish. Now, if in order to kind of aim for higher levels in the longer run, we would need to see a nice good break here above the above this upside support line again, going back up above it, and then closing above the 26,350 zone, approximately there, of course. So this is where we're gonna probably start examining the higher levels, but for now, we're just gonna go from where we are at this point, and for now we're just still below this 25,600 zone. So a nice good break above that could potentially open the path towards slightly higher levels. So for now, keep your eyes on this, keep your eyes on these two levels, and let's see where it goes today. Looking at WTI oil, I was covering Brent this morning, and this is what I was talking about. Basically, it's kind of in a similar, it's almost the same here. Even though we saw a bit of correction here kicking in yesterday, and then of course on Friday, but still it seems that the crude oil kind of is looking weak and is currently testing this upside support line, this short-term kind of upside support line that has been running here since around the 16th of August, since the lows of that day. And of course, even if we're going to get a break here below this upside support line, still, in order to kind of get more comfortable with the downside, we will probably wait until we reach the psychological 70 level. And if we start seeing breaks and we get a close below that level, now this is where it could become more interesting for the bears from the slightly more near term, or should I say medium term, and this is where we're going to probably aim for the 66.95, or just even we can route it up towards the 67 level, just kind of to be on in the safe spot here. So something like that could be possible, but again, for this level here, the 67 zone, for us to see that one, we would need to get a nice good break and a close below the 70 mark. But to be honest, for now, until we're kind of trading above this upside support line, we're just going to stay put here and just going to stay neutral, because if this gets rejected here again and we see the bulls kicking in here and driving this one higher again, the level to watch here for a potential upside continuation here would be a nice good break here above the 73 zone, or even better here is 73.05, slightly above that. I know it's just a few ticks, but nevertheless, just to be on the safe side. And like I said, a nice good break above that level could potentially open the path towards these higher levels here. This is where we could aim for the 75 zone, or even higher towards the 76.90 zone. So the 76.90 acted as a very nice area of resistance here on the 3rd of October. But again, let's not get ahead of ourselves too much. Let's keep an eye on these levels that I've got highlighted here, and like I said, we need to see a good confirmation break either through the upper side here or through the lower side there, in order to kind of confirm the direction of the break. So further direction, of course, of the break. Now, looking at the euro dollar, now euro dollar is getting a nice push here today, and let me just jump on into the 4-hour chart on this one, and this is what I'm talking about here. Finally, it's this level here, the 116.10. It's getting tested again, and at the moment this is looking quite strong, and it seems that it wants to continue pushing higher. Certainly we still have the day, kind of the US session ahead of us, and this is where everything could change. Basically, what we're going to look at here, we're going to wait and see how this daily candle is going to close, because if we do get a nice close above that level, then yep, potentially this could be opening the path towards the 116.50 zone, and where we can see that it acted as a very nice area of resistance on the 28th of September. So good potential area to watch, good potential area of resistance to watch. But for now, like I said, keep your eyes on the 116.10. Let's see how this day is going to play out for this pair, because if this holds, if this continues to hold, the 116.10 continues to hold, and we'll see a close below that, then, well, we could maybe see another drop here to the downside, potentially testing the this 115.65 support zone, a break of which could open the path towards the this level right here at around 115.35. And as you probably understood here by the areas, the highlighted areas that I've got here, basically I was looking at this range here. The pair kind of continued to range within the continued to pay just to range basically in here since the 11th of October, and finally it's kind of trying to break through the upper side of it. So let's see how it goes on. Certainly, like I said, let's of course, this is looking quite promising in a way for now, but again, like I said, let's not get ahead of ourselves too much, and let's see how this evolves further. Aussie yen. Now this one's a good one, seeing a nice good pop here to the upside, and looking at this 4-hour chart, you can see that it's currently testing this quite important resistance zone at around 80.15. Now a nice good break here and a close above that level could confirm further acceleration here in further upside, and we could see further acceleration here towards the higher levels, like this one right here. Let me just quickly mark that one for you guys, and that's around 80.60. Now this could be a potential nice area of resistance to keep an eye on. Of course, this was marked by the highs that we saw around the 10th of October, so keep your eyes on that one again. But initially, of course, keep your eyes on this little level right here that is getting well, that is testing right now, so the 80.15. let's see where it's going to close, because we do have the 50 EMA here as well, as just a few pips above that. So in a way, this could act also as a nice area of resistance. So for now, be very cautious. Let's see how this continues to trade here, and if we're going to get a nice close above this, then, well, there is more chances for the upside here rather than the downside. But if let's say this reverses to the downside, now from the very short-term perspective, you could in a way keep an eye on this little thing here, this little upside support line that has been running here since from the lows of the 10th of October, and a nice good break below that could potentially open the path towards lower levels. But for us to kind of get more comfortable with the further declines here, we would need to see a nice good break and a close below the 79.45 zone, approximately there, and this is where we could then aim for a possible test of the lower levels here, the lows of the 10th of October, and that's approximately around the 79 mark, just maybe slightly slightly above that, a few ticks above the 79 mark, but nevertheless it could play out. But for such a scenario, for the downside, we would need to see this one kind of in a way traveling all the way here towards this upside support line, short-term upside support line, breaking the 79.45 and then aiming for the 79 mark. So of course, but for now, judging by this current picture that we're seeing on the 4-hour chart, it doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like it wants to continue pushing higher, and like I said, like I just mentioned previously, keep your eyes on the 80.60 zone. Let's see if that actually plays out nicely later on this week. GBPCAD, now this one is a very interesting pair. As you can see here, it was climbing higher. It kind of, since the beginning of October, the first days of October, it continued to push higher and was trading above the steep upside support line, but it kind of got broken here on the 12th last week, basically on Friday, and we've pushed lower. So now at this point we're stuck here. Just let me quickly mark these levels. Now we're stuck here between the quite important areas of support and resistance. So in a way, we're stuck in this little range here between the 170.40 and on the downside, and on the upside here we're stuck. Just let me just adjust this little level right here. There we go, and that's approximately around the 171.60. So in a way, we're stuck between these two levels. This is exactly where we're going to keep an eye on, because a nice good break through this upper side of this little range that we've got here right now could potentially open the path towards the highs that we saw around the 10th of October, and that's approximately around this 172.85. Could be a good potential area to test, but again, like I said, only if we get a nice break here above the 171.60 zone. So keep your eyes on that one. On the downside here, this again, like I've mentioned before, the 170.40 zone, this is something for us gonna be well, something interesting for us gonna be that, because a nice good break below that could potentially drop just slightly below towards the 170.10 zone. Of course, it could be a bit of a tentative one, but a better area of support that we're going to be keeping an eye on is going to be the 169.25 zone. So this area here acted as a very strong area of support on the 9th and the 8th of October. So 169.25 could be a possible test if we get a break below the 170.40 zone. So, but for now, until it's kind of ranging here in this little range, so stay put and keep your eye keep your eyes on these levels right here that I've just talked about. Okay, guys, I hope you found it useful, and thank you very much for watching and listening. So if you want to join me tomorrow morning in my Traders Espresso, and that's 6 o'clock GMT time, 7 o'clock British Summer Time. But for now, thank you very much, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.